Summer's almost over. Time to get back to my classrooms and get back to teaching. Wait a minute. One of my classes, this class, is a fully online class. I can teach it anywhere. At my house, sitting in my office, walking around, even on a pontoon completely choked with floaties. In this first lesson, this first humble lesson of this section of Composition 1, I'd like to provide a little bit of a rationale for Comp 1. Why is it required? Why do most of the students at Central Lakes College take it for their certificates, their AA degree? Let's take a little boat ride, and I'll try to provide a framework, a way for you to think about it. Composition 1 at Central Lakes College and the subsequent requirement, Composition 2, are what we call general requirements. And I think you know what that means. It'll be like this. You'll be at a social gathering and a relative, maybe your grandma or an uncle, will come up to you and they'll say, "What are you studying at Central Lakes College?" And you're not going to want to answer that question. So you'll look at them and say, "Oh, you know, I'm just taking my generals." How does that make me feel? You know, pretty non-specific. But I understand it. It's okay. But what's general about it? And why is Comp 1 required? Well, one way of thinking of it is this. In the taking of a class like Composition 1, you're participating in a pretty ancient tradition. All societies, all centuries, have valued people who could read and write, speak and think well, with grace and eloquence. Now in this country, the United States, classes like Composition 1 have been required for most college and university students for at least 100 years. And it is really an industry, academically, in this country. At Central Lakes, again, it's called Comp 1. At St. Cloud State, where I've taught, the class is called English 191. At the College of St. Benedict, where I'm a part-time faculty member, the course I teach there is called First Year Seminar. It's all the same. They're all courses that are trying to get university students to improve their literacy skills. It's as old as the hills. There's something about it, though, that I would say is a kind of a limitation, and that's the dream part. The dream part is that you can take a class like Composition 1 and sort of just because of that class and kind of like an inoculation against the flu, you can thereafter write well in all the discourse communities you're ever going to participate in. I don't think it quite works like that. But in the months ahead, what I'm going to do is communicate to you everything I know about writing and rhetoric and composition, give you a lot of opportunities to write in different ways, in different modes, and I'll give you all the experience I have. I hope you become just a little bit better in simply having the occasion to write, the chance to write. Well, in this first lesson, the main thing that I want to do is try to place Composition 1 in the tradition of the liberal arts, humanities, which I've been participating in all my life, at least my teaching life anyway. This is my 25th year doing it. Now, it's not the greatest theory in the world, but at least it's original. It's my theory of funnels. One way of thinking about school, the world of school, is this. Going through school is kind of like going through a kind of a funnel. At first the funnel is wide, and you're taking a lot of different courses, because early in school we want you to know a little bit about a lot of things. You PSEO students, for instance, I know some of you guys and gals are taking 6, 7, 8 courses. We want you to find out what you're good at, and we want to give you a chance to maybe discover something that you can get passionate about, like English studies is for me. But a funny thing happens. As you move through school, as you move through your career here at Central Lakes, maybe some of you are going to take the AA degree, maybe some of you are going to transfer to a 4-year school, some of you are going to go to graduate school, maybe even beyond that. What will happen is you're going to move from a spot where you know a little bit about a lot of things to an awful lot about a little thing, because you're going to move towards increasingly specific knowledge communities. And I've shared this idea with students for years. This funnel here depicts me kind of way back when I was the age of some of you, 1978. When I started out school at St. John's University, all I knew was that I was good at words. My math score on the ACT was sort of in the toilet. My verbal score was on the other end. And because of that, I took a lot of courses early on in philosophy, history, and English. Well, the tunnel gets a little narrower as I move along here, the funnel rather. And eventually, I get pretty interested down here in rhetoric, composition, and the study of literature, especially American literature, which I adore. So I start out as an English major, history major, and in the end, I'm kind of a rhetorician, college teacher, so to speak. I'm thinking, too, of my friend Tom Dondelay. We used to sit in history classes together years ago, 1978, 79, 80. And he starts out as a history major, too. Then he gets interested in theology. In the middle of his funnel, he takes a master's degree in that. Then he takes a PhD in history. I'm thinking, too, of a third person, my brother-in-law, Patrick Littmer, radiologist to the stars down at the Mayo Clinic. Of course, he didn't start out as a radiologist. What he started out as was a natural science major, taking general courses in physics, biology, chemistry, etc. Well, then he goes to medical school, the Mayo Clinic down in Rochester. And he could have stopped right about here and been a general doctor, maybe a family practitioner. But he wanted to be a radiologist. And I think you're getting the idea, and hopefully this has some application in your life and in your story. You probably already know this. I start out an English major and I end up a rhetorician. And my friend Tom Dondelay, who's a PhD at the University of California, Berkeley, starts out a history major, and he's on his second book on the presence of the Jews in 16th century Spain. It's pretty specific. It's probably 50 people in the world that are interested in that. My brother-in-law, Patrick Littmer, starts out as a natural science major, and now he is an expert on radioactive isotopes, like technician down at the Mayo Clinic. He's a nuclear medicine specialist. This is going to happen to you. The same thing is going to happen to you as you move through school. And one of the reasons why we like to have people take Composition 1 and Composition 2 in courses like it is because we want you to read and write well. The ability to write clearly and persuasively is important in all disciplines, and it's going to be important all the way through school. Composition 1 isn't going to turn you into a writer, but it'll give you an opportunity to practice. It'll give you a chance to simply get better at it. And in the doing of it, you will get better at it. And that's my funnel theory.